Hello friends of the electrified charging fun and welcome to Speicher Elektrisiert, your channel all around Skoda's e-mobility. My name is Matthias and this video is a call to action for you. Yes, you heard it right. I need the support of this community to improve something which really needs improvement, and that is the usability of the software in the current ENYAQs. And since we are now over 10,000 subscribers strong, I guess it's a good point to do this. So in this video we talk about the user interface, the user experience and the usability when it comes to the software part in the three displays in the ENYAQ. Let's go! So first things first, you are asked to help and to give your feedback on the usability in the Skoda ENYAQ. And if you do not know what user interface, user experience and usability is, I will give you a brief introduction in this video. But first of all, why is this important, this UI, UX topic? Because when you're driving in your car, you should focus on driving and not operating the car. So it needs to be highly intuitive and accessible with no overload and easy in its visual design language so that you are not distracted from driving, so that your fully focus is on driving and on safety on the road. And when I listen to my viewers, my subscribers, all the emails, all the comments, right now it's not quite like it should be. And so let's dig deeper into this topic and to gain an understanding on how we could improve it and what improvements you especially want to see in the software. Why should we even do this? That's a very good question, because why should Skoda care? What of an impact do we have when the software is provided by Volkswagen and CARIAD? But I tell you something. The user interface itself, so not the functionality, but the visual design of this is done by Skoda. It's not done by Volkswagen. And so Skoda could do something. And when Skoda says they are a customer-centric company, and I show you something on LinkedIn, Klaus Selmer, their CEO, posted that they love their customers, well, then they should care, don't they? Because with an ME3 there are around 140,000 units delivered. So 140,000 customers is not something to put on a light shoulder and ignore, right? Skoda could do something even if they cannot put in new function. They can hugely improve the so-called usability in improving the user interface. And here is something which is very important for this video, for your action, for your call to action. It's not about ranting. It's not about blaming Skoda. It's about understanding how everyday users use their car and on how to improve on this. That's what I'm asking you for. So if you just want to tell me how bad everything is, that's perfectly fine, but that will improve nothing. And yes, you are right. We are just a small bunch here, although we are 10,000 subscribers strong, and we are even stronger because I have a lot of non-subscribers. So you can say about 30 to 40% of all ENYAQ drivers might see this video. So maybe we will change nothing at all and Skoda will keep ignoring us. But then all marketing would be a lie, right? They are not customer-centric. They do not love their users if they ignore us. Or this might change everything. And that would be a huge deal, that a community can achieve something together. And if not we, who else? Here is the community. Here is the power of all the viewers, of all of you. So let's bring this power to bear. And Skoda is watching these videos as well, and I know it. And not only some marketing or social media guys. My videos are often watched by top management. So there we have impact. And let's see how deep this impact might be. After all your reportings, I will do a video and showcase all your findings, and then we will see how Skoda will react. And now I give you a brief introduction into UI, UX and usability. Let's do a short introduction into the topic of user interface, human-machine interface, user experience, customer experience, and usability. It's a very brief and short introduction, so you can do your own search on the web, but it's just to give you a brief introduction if you're not firm with it. If you already know this, you can skip to the next chapter. So when we see at this, let's first talk about UI HMI. Maybe you already found the letters HMI somewhere in your Skoda infotainment system. UI is the user interface and HMI is the human-machine interaction. So how do you interact with the machine? And the user interface is the visual representation of that on your screens in the ENYAQ. So the layout, the branding, how to interact, how things are in interaction, if you slide something, if you tap something, and so on. That's user interface and human-machine interaction. And the other thing is user experience. This is a bit broader. User experience, so your experience with a product or a system on an emotional base, on an aesthetic base, on a functional base. All that you experience when you use the system. That could bring joy and frustration as well. And I'm pretty sure you can name a lot of frustrations with the Skoda infotainment system. Usability, that's what this video is all about, is a part of the user experience. There is more, but we will focus on this. If you want to know more, please research it yourself. Usability is the use of a system or a product in a specific context. So, in this context, when using the car, mainly when driving the car. There are other things you can do, like camping or sitting in the car watching a movie, but this video is about driving the car. That's our context in which we operate. So, usability is the result of the human-machine interaction with your car. And usability is mainly about, first, the effectiveness to do a job, like activate the AC or activate the turning lights or whatever. That is that is how effective can you do this. The next thing is how efficient are you in doing so. So bad efficiency would be if you just want to activate your AC, you have to go to several sub-menus and turn some sliders left, right, something like that. And so how efficient are you in doing the job you want to do? And one important part, the third part, is how is the joy of use or the satisfaction in doing so? This is what it's all about in usability. And therefore, we are looking at several things, and that is what I'm asking you. Look through the perspective of these things on the way you interact with your Skoda ENYAQ, and then tell me all the frustrations. How you can tell me that? That's the next chapter. So, what we are looking for? Well, mainly we are looking for the suitability for the user's task. So, how suitable is it to get your task done in what you are doing? I give you already a bad example. That is, if you have to navigate to several sub-menus to do something, that might be not suitable if it's a safety function, for example. Another thing is self-descriptiveness. How self-descriptive is the system? Do you know what you do? Is it explained to you? And do you understand what's happening there? The third part, and that's a huge and important part, is conformity with the user expectations. So if you do something, and the reaction of the system is this, what you have expected will happen. And next thing is learnability. How easy it is to learn to operate the system. Or do you have to read a manual? Do you have to get explanation from some expert and so on? So the learnability. The next thing is the controllability. So how are you able to control the system? There are things like, will it save information you once give? And will it keep settings? Is it easy to make settings? So how are you able to control the system? the next part, it's also very important, is the user error robustness. So if you do something by mistake, will it turn out good, bad? Will it be ignored? Can you do mistakes, and what will happen then? And the last thing, and that is also very important, is user engagement. Is the system friendly and designed that you have joy on engaging with it, in using it? So does it bring joy and satisfaction to you? All these points you should take your lenses on and look if these are met or not. I give you some examples later on, but now let's talk about what would be the best way to report all the issues, all the problems to me. How to report and what to report. That is also important so that I can make a conclusion out of this, can do a summary and then do showcases. So it's all in this video, it's not about physical buttons and stuff like that. That would also be important. It's all about the 3 displays in the ENYAQ. So first of all, the main display in the middle of the ENYAQ. Second, the cockpit display in front of you. And third, if you have it, the head-up display, which is projected in front of the car. And if you report, please always say on which system you are talking about. So is it main display, cockpit display, or head-up display? And now what to report? Well, I give you some examples. This list is not a final list. You can add anything you like. So first off, it's like missing or wrong descriptions or explanations you found, or an unlogical arrangement of menus or buttons or settings or information. Hard to operate elements, too small or too not good to touch, or hard to reach something, hard to see or too big and stuff like that, or some unexpected and weird reactions of the system where you would expect something else. Do not report wishes for new functions like preheating, one-pedal driving and stuff like that, because Skoda cannot add this. This is Volkswagen, this is CARIAD. This video is only about the user interface, not new functions. Last thing, how to report. Well, first off, the best thing would do via email. So this is my email, speicher.elektrisiert@gmail.com, and just send me an email. If you could add images, screenshots, please do so. If you have a small video, just add it. It's perfectly fine, so that I can understand what the problem, what the frustration is. If possible, you might add the version, the software version you have, like ME 3.0, 3.2, 3.5. If not, doesn't matter. You could also use the comment section below the video and put in what you like. And if you find something that suits what your frustration is, you could give it a thumbs up if someone else wrote it. This survey is opened until the end of October 2023. So after October, I will do the next video showcasing everything you told me. And now let's head over to some examples. Here is my first example, and I guess that's one of the well-known examples ever. It's the OK button for the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. And this always pops up when you start the car. No matter what, you always have to hit OK. And this compromises several design rules like user engagement. This is hugely disengaging. You do not like to do this. This is very, very unpleasant with every startup of the car to hit that button. The next is self-descriptiveness. Who knows what do they mean with this? With OK, yeah, whatever. And the next thing is suitability. This is not suitable for the user's task. He just wants to drive. He do not want to confirm this every start. And the last thing is controllability. Why isn't this saved? There are so many cars out there, and only Skoda or Volkswagen has this. No BMW has this. No Tesla has this. They all need to be compliant with the GDPR. So This is one really good example on bad usability. My next example is here with ambient lighting. If you hit that button, you get this screen, and if you do not have a real keen eye that there is something more, you would not expect that you're able to scroll sideways here. Even though there's enough space all around to put all those icons on one screen, they've decided to make it scrollable sideways. And why is this bad usability for me? It is not user error robustness, because the user could make the error here in not scrolling and not finding this stuff over there because he simply doesn't see it. And the next thing is the self-descriptiveness is not given. Where is an indicator that you could scroll right? They did such indicators, don't get me wrong. Look here. Here I know there are 2 tabs, so I could expect to do something like scrolling or tapping down here, which works perfectly. Here I don't have it. And there is the next thing. It is not suitable for the user's task. He wants to quickly select a lightning and not doing this. And my third example is the closing of screens with an X. You might ask, what X? Because normally, let's take just one menu, you don't have anything to close. You go over Home and Menu. But if you go to the driving modes like here, you've got that X. And when you hit that X, you're back in the previous screen. At least that is what this is your expectancy now, because I was in the charging menu. So let's do it again. And you're back in the last screen. So let's look climate. And it has an X, and you're back in the last screen. Wow, where's your problem, Matthias? Well, now I hit set. I've got an X here. I'm back, still good. Now I hit assistance. And when I'm in this menu, which is the normal menu to come up, you don't have any X more. There is no X. You cannot quit this menu. So you go to all assistance systems. You hit this, and you're here. No way to exit this menu. The X is missing. So, expectation from the user not met. He would expect this. So how to quit this menu? You could hit Home and Menu. This works. But some of you might also hit the button like Set. And if you hit Set, you're here. And now you can exit. Haha, wrong thought. You can't. You hit Set, you are here. You hit X, you are here in the last screen, because X brings you to the last screen. Mode, you hit X, you're in the last screen. This is bad usability, because what you expect is to come back to the home screen. For my next example, we could stick with this screen. So if you look at this screen, which looks a bit odd with all those buttons around, which do not seem to be in a perfect order, which is also a usability design flaw when it comes to driving, because you want to quick access them. Therefore, this might be better, but that is a whole different story. Let's stick with this menu. So what would you expect? First of all, you need to understand what the icons on the buttons mean. Not every button is self-explanatory. But, okay, let's put that aside. What would you expect? Well, when it's greenlit, it is activated, so you would expect if you hit it, you deactivate the function. So let's do it. Yeah, but there comes another menu from the side, and now you have to deactivate here. And then you have to go back. And that's the way it works. And to activate, you do the same. And if you go into something like this here, you even get more options. So basically what this does is a shortcut to all assistants and then select one of those. And this is also not good usability when we are looking at the context of driving. Because if you see this, the suitable for the user, it's not suitable for the user task. He wants to quickly deactivate or activate and not jump into another menu. And the controllability is also not given, because it just should directly deactivate or activate anything. So my next example needs a bit more time, but it's a huge design flaw in my opinion. So let's dive into the normal menu structure. And it looks like this. You have tabs here on the left side, functions, and always a setup down here. And then you can jump into those, and if you hit setup, you get those lists in a vertical manner. But this is not for all screens. You already seen the screen for the ambient lighting. And if you look at that, I've got mood, individual, but why is brightness up here and not here? Because it's a function. And then I've got settings over there, but there is no set up here. So why do you put individual like that? And this is not the main thing. This is just the brightness. Another one which is really more important to see is this, DCC. So I've got all the functions down here, and now let's look at this. This is a normal screen. You've got an info button here. And if you hit the info button, you access this menu, you see all the settings. Now, by the way, you have another alignment here. Why aren't here tabs on the left like in any other menu? Why are they now up here? And if I hit individual, I can even do the configuration. But what has this to do with info? Nothing. So, and here's the next thing. If I hit individual, the info button turns into a 3-dotted menu button. So, same place, different function? No. You just start in individual. You can also switch to normal. This is another bad example of usability. And I'm not really done. There are even another menu which is highly confusing. So if I hit this and go to data, go to my car, you have this weird menu where you can scroll through with all those things attached. Why isn't this as list available? And here you have the same, but they only have one screen. So many options for screens and menus, and this compromises all rules of design for me. This is not consistent. This is just confusing. This example is about the widget or tiles on the main screen. So while you're looking at this, it's a clear design and it's easy to scroll to the second page. But when you look at those widgets, they are scrollable within. They have own tabs, so you can do this. This by itself is not really good usability because it's distracting while driving. But another topic is, how do you now swipe back to the screen before? It's very hard to achieve. I tapped it. So you need to really, here it doesn't matter. I can just hit at the center of the map and scroll, but here I can't. I just need to get the outer corner to move. And I don't have that time while driving. And the second thing with those widgets is you always have the same at start of your car. You got always the first tap. So some people have one widget where they can see the altitude because there's no other way in the ENYAQ, and they always have to set it to altitude because it's not on the first page. So this is, again, frustrating when it comes to user engagement, and it's not suitable for the task. You shouldn't design such widgets, in my opinion. We could directly stick with the main screen and the widgets. Do you see that empty spot here? This is because for this video I added charging up here, and you can only put every widget once. Even those those widgets where you can just jump into the respective menu position. No widget could be used twice. This is also not good usability because it is compromising all usability rules for me. And another thing, these one-on-one tiles or widgets are merely useless because it's just a jump into the menu. Why don't they offer additional value in form of some measurements or something like that? But just adding every widget once on the screen is not good usability. Let's look at an example from the cockpit display. And as you can see here, what I'm meaning is this bar with the percentage, the SOC and the battery icon, and with the range you have and this charging icon here. They are really odd. They are too large. They are too big and don't fit the text size. And whilst the icon on the right is a flat 2D icon, the icon on the left is a 3D icon, which is really hard to read because could you really say that this is 25%? No, you can't. And this is also not good usability because in this small display you need to access information quick and easy. And another thing in this display, these are the bars, the power bar, the green one on the right, and the regeneration bar on the left. They are too low. They should be way more higher near the speed, the actual. That at least is my opinion, because this information should be clustered together. This also, in my opinion, comes down to all those speed limits and speed signs. You have your actual speed in the middle. Just above you have the current limit, which he recognized. Then you have the set speed just here. Why isn't information clustered when it belongs together? For me, that's bad usability. And we could stick with this example. I'm pretty sure you cannot see my head-up display very well, but I'm missing a lot of information in the head-up display. I know it's about what information is important. And in the head-up display, the information is the most important you actually need to drive. Then comes the information in the cockpit display and then on the main display. But I would, first off, I would rearrange all the information on the head-up display because they are not clustered, and I would at least add the power and regeneration bar. And I also want to add something else to the cockpit display. This does not look well-rounded. It's not very well composed because it looks a bit chaotic. You have different sizes for text, different font boldness for text, different heights. This all looks so chaotic and not really well structured. It is sometimes even hard to read. And I don't understand that. Why does it have to look like this? Yes, it's a small display, I know. But if you would rearrange it completely, you would have a much better visibility of all what's in it. And that's what it's all about. High visibility, so that with one small look down there, you get everything you need. And for me, currently, this is quite hard to achieve. And so even the cockpit display and the head-up display have several usability flaws. Did you like the examples? Are those stuff that bothers you too? Well, great, let's find more. So please, use this call to action to report any frustration and issue you have. But again, it's not about ranting, it's not about blaming, it's about improvement and to make stuff better. Even though we know that our chances are rather low and that the chances that winning the lottery is even lower, I guess, but we are somewhere there, I'm pretty sure. So, but anyway, let's use this chance. And let's see if Skoda will really keep up to their words and how they will react to everything which will come and how they will react to the next video where I showcase everything I can which you provides me. And we will see how it turns out. So I don't ask you to like this video or to give it a thumbs up. I ask you to share this video with every ENYAQ driver who is frustrated with any topic regarding usability, and to comment or to react to this video. And together we as a community can now achieve something. I am really convinced that we can achieve something for all the ME3 ENYAQ drivers. Because it is also not about ME4, we currently do not know how this will play out. So please engage, please see this call to action as a chance to do something, and then we'll see each other in the next video. And until then, stay full of energy.